monitor. That's the trophy for the Stampede Bowl, and it's pretty impressive, I think. They're using the horse.
Greatest outdoor shoulders. There's your ball game.
Isn't that cool? I think it's cool, man. And this guy from Poison, not
Calgary, it is Brett Michaels. I cannot wait to see you Thursday, July 3rd. We are about to make CFL history in the City of Red. We're going to bring it to the stadium, mash up our CFL football, our rock and roll, bring in all the Poison hits, all killer, no filler. I will see you there Thursday, July 3rd. Be ready to rock. I can't wait. And look, I got the custom hat to
Every road has a thorn. I think that's his song. Every cowboy. I don't know how the lyrics, but it was a good song. You know, Burton Cummings is going at 77. What's he, 64? You know, like.
The state of Yuma, a Republican.
Oh, come on, stop that shit. I don't like you interfering in my set. That's the problem. That's what's happening here.
Coming up, we hear more about
come on. So that's what you got to run into here. Sorry about that. Spider's back. That's right. Okay. Spider, spider, here comes Spider, CFL's Red Zone Rule. Hit it. Hit it. Spider, spider, here comes Spider, CFL's Red Zone Rule. Hit it. Hit it. Yeah, I want to hear you loud. Chanting loud in the red zone. Yeah. We got to get the Spider CFL Red Zone out there. I'm working on a plan to get it out there. That's something else I'm going to be. That's something else. People watch. That's something else I'm going to be talking to you about next session. Okay? Because I've been working on this and I haven't even told my son anything about it because I want to kick it off. My Spider CFL Red Zone Rule Blitz Canada National Blitz. Just as training camp actually, so May 11th, my birthday's May 10th. So, happy birthday, Spider. Okay. Anyway, I was saying at the end of the last session about Glenn Southerite, he was on, I guess, he's always on Sports Cage saying, oh, he's going to have a meeting with the new Commissioner Mr. Johnson and tell him his ego's so high too. I mean, I was going to say what he said about my rule. Oh, that's interesting. You know, when I said his ego, and he's so for the Canadian players, he doesn't even mention the American players. Unless you take the American players away, all right, the CFL goes down. Like, instantly. Okay? And he was saying, oh, I'm going to meet with the new Commissioner Johnson. We're going to have a meeting. He called him up. He's such a, like, he's so egotistical. And he thought he should have been commissioner. Man, he seems sore. He seems mad because he's not, they didn't, like, imagine he was begging him almost. Like, begging him. He'd been knocking on the door all day, calling him out, like, he's, this guy's, I wish he wasn't, like, he's so biased, Canadian, but I wish he wasn't a broadcaster of TSN. I mean, like, and you know, he wouldn't endorse my CFL Red Zone because he's too egotistical, you know, and a jealous person. And I think he's a leftist too. Anyway, you know, like he said, he's going to meet with Johnson, the new commissioner, Mr. Johnson, Stuart Johnson, and he's going to basically tell him what he should do, right? I'm sure increase the Canadian ratio. Like he's this bad news. He just thinks he thinks he's a CFL. Like the guy's, there's something. His ego is insane. He's and like it's way out there. I mean, this guy's, you know, really, you know, something wrong. Something wrong there. You know, I mean, seriously, he's a dreamer. He's delusional. Like, and he's going to tell the commissioner basically what he should do. And he went over the whole thing, everything that he wants him to do. You know, like, got to tell him everything. Like, this is what you should do, basically. Because they didn't take me as commissioner, and they should have. Basically, he's going to tell him. And so here's what you need to do. Are you kidding me? No, like, the thing with Mr. Johnson, if you're going to be successful, you got to start listening to people, the CFL fans, okay? And if you even have, say, you know, that you go on, they talk about the racial on that new forum called CFL Chatter, and there's been some good, I mean, they really went after Ambrosi a lot, but on the Canadian ratio, you know, it could be a split, or it could be about 60, maybe could sometimes be even higher, to get rid of it, you know, but even if it's 50-50, it's got to go. Even if it was favor 50-40 in favor, it's got to go, right? Like, if you have 85 or 90% or 75, that's a different story, but you never get, no way. It's more like 50 or higher. It's probably more like, because, but it's probably even higher that, because you know why? Way higher. Because if you did a survey, all the NFL only fans who don't even watch the CFL, they hate the Canadian ratio. Same the younger generation, they hate the Canadian ratio. My son, he hates the Canadian. I don't like the, and I'm an old fogey, and I don't like the Canadian. I never liked it. Okay, and you can't get any more Canadian than me. The Guess Who's my favorite band. I used all Blackberry. I love Blackberry. You know, I'm so Canadian. I don't even watch NFL football. You know, so anyway, no. If you did a survey of a majority of sports fans, like all the sports fans, you know, and that's the majority of mass market sports fans that the CFL doesn't have, that are NFL fans, that are NHL fans, Major League Baseball fans, and NBA fans, so forth. They don't have. So if you did a survey with them, it would be way up there, probably in like 80%, 75, 80%. Because people that are going on these CFL like chatter sites are mostly biased, like very biased for the Canadian ratio. I mean, they're the few people that are still going to the games. So if the CFL is going to survive, Mr. Johnson, if you hear me, it's sort of a continuation of my first one. You have to do that. You have to do a survey like that. And you don't have to do a survey. In my survey, it was one of the things that came up. They hated the Canadian ratio. That's why they wouldn't watch the CFL. And then of course all the too much kicking, too many 2-and-outs that don't even exist. They said in the NFL, and too many field goals for points in the CFL, and too many. Two-down football stops in the red zone for too many easy chip shot, non-eventful chip shot field goals, which was magnifying. Was one of the biggest turnoffs and killers of a CFL three-down game. That they said that it just, you know, you get down the red zone playing two-down football, you get stopped in a two-down stop, and you kick a little easy 12, like Rob Van Stone said, a 12-yard field goal. Imagine that. They're going to just turn off. You know, you can't have that. You need my CFL Red Zone Bowl, okay? So, Mr. Johnson, I will be really, really promoting it with you, and I'll be sending you a mail, like sending you in the mail, all color printed, everything, the whole presentation, and I'm going to be back up by email too. So you're going to get both. You're going to get both, and that's what I'm going to do. And I'm going to be calling the CFL office for him to get back to me on it too. I'm not going to let it slide. He's going to push it aside. I'm not going to do that. And I'm going to tell him in a letter too how I was treated by Randy Ambrosi and how the CFL Rules Committee, the ego, and there's one particular person there that's so jealous of it. The way Jenks, I think his name, he's probably still there. I can tell him what he did and how rude he was to me and a bunch of bullies. And the CFL Rules Committee, I mentioned that, how biased they are, jealous they are of it, and it's all about ego, and that the hash mark's got to go, and got to replace my CFL Red Zone rule. I'm going to be hammering this, and wait till you find out what I'm going to do with the blitz. And I'm going to put pressure on the CFL, because I know all sports fans in general, that would be the mass market sports fans, like I told you, NBA, Major League Baseball. These are Canadian. sports fans, okay? NFL only, okay? NHL hockey. They will be all, just like the 550 I surveyed, they will be all blown away by my CFL Red Zone rule. And say it's a winner, it's a game changer. Make it part of a CFL 3-down game. It's a natural. It's tailor-made for a CFL 3-down game. And that's going to be my approach. I'm going to have, and I have my radio blitz, and I'm going to tell you how I'm going to put this together and how I'm going to do it. And I'm gonna be so persistent and so aggressive. And I mean it. You're going to see it. And I'm going to do it. You wait. And the time I get to Calgary in 2026 for the Grey Cup with my son, it could be made part of a CFL 3-down game of football. And oh man, come on now. Glenn Souther thinks he's commissioner, saying they got to stop, no more new CFL rules. Are you kidding me? You could get rid of the hash mark rule and replace it with my CFL Red Zone rule. And by the way, something else I'm going to do in my plan. Well, I'm going to present this, okay, and I'm going to have a whole session on this. I'm going to do a presentation to high school and college football here in Halifax on my CFL Red Zone rule. In minor football, I'm going to do it. And Steve Armich told me to do this, and so I've been waiting to put this all together. There's more to come than that, and I'll tell you, I'm going to have a whole session on it very soon, actually, very soon. Probably I'll be back I will try to get back next week, not every month. That's not right, or every 2 weeks, and then that would be the latest. I'm not going to go beyond 2 weeks. And then if I do it another 2 weeks, or probably before that, about 2 more sessions, and then it would be a CFL training camp or so, and then I'm going to be probably laying this out just before the training camp on how I'm going to promote my CFL Red Zone rule, the blitz, and how I'm going to really push it, and how I'm going to get it out there, and I want every one of you, like Chris, okay, Chris. And James, all of you, okay, Brad, everybody watching, Mr. McLeod, okay, and all the other made comments, okay. Please make more comments. I'll read them, okay. I want the comments. I want you to subscribe, please. Please hit that button. And I want you to get the word. I want you to go to my Facebook page and put up my poster, my Spider CFL Red Zone rule poster, okay. And I want you to talk up my CFL Red Zone rule. Go on platforms, talk it up. Okay, get it out there. This is what we have to do. We got to work as a team on this. Okay, that's going to be part of my presentation I make on it too. That you have to be part of it. Okay, so Chris, okay, okay, you get people psyched on this. My CFL Red Zone rule, and all you people that are out there that I presented it to. And all you people that are sold on it, that watch my CFL Red Zone rule YouTube video sessions, get my Spiders Red Zone rule out there. Get it out there, promote it, okay? Get it exposed, because the CFL are trying to suppress it, and I know what Mr. Johnson will do, but I'm going to find out what he's made of very soon, okay? I'm going to find out what he's made of, okay? So anyway, let's get on into Halifax, okay? What's going on in Halifax, okay? Okay, remember the last touchdown Atlantic at St. Mary's? And what's going on at St. Mary's there at the stadium? Well, I can tell you that they had put some lamps out. It's all landscaped, grass and everything now. But where the Exchange building, which was a disaster they built, that came out, that screwed everything up. That's why they couldn't go all the way up in that side from the 35-yard line down. That is terrible. And if they ever built a stadium there, they'd have to put some seats there up to 30 rows or more. And they'd have to have it more of an incline, have the stands like that more, or like this more even, okay? They get the 30 rows or so more in there. It's a disaster. Never should they put lamp poles and a sidewalk around, and it's terrible what they did there. Anyway, it's too bad. It's too bad this didn't happen under like Mark Cohen's watch or something before they did that, and they would have worked a deal with Premier Houston. Okay, too bad Mark Cohen would have stayed as commissioner. Worked a deal with Premier Houston, okay, when he first came in 5 years ago, and had this done there before they put the Exchange building up and built a real CFL stadium there. That's what should have happened. Now they have an obstacle there, and it creates a problem. But getting back to the Wanderers grounds, okay, here's what's going on. they didn't prove it in the budget, 40 million for Derek Martin for his 8,000. Now he wants 10,000, by the way. You know, prefabricated modular stadium, like for his Wanderers soccer, CPL soccer team. So that's on hold. And he said in a podcast that they want to put in an artificial field, and they wanted to put it in for CFL football as well, but they wouldn't have the capacity. They could only go up to 13,000. That's with expansion there. So he wants 10 now. And he says it wouldn't fit anyway. It's only good for NFL size field. I mean, the length. That's because of the lawn bowling. But if the lawn bowling was removed, that's where their kitchen house seats are for the Wanderers grounds games. Then they could put a full size and some other buildings there that they have, like hydroponic stuff and everything. But that could be all moved to the commons easily. They're not going to ever move the Lancers horses. They never. But you could probably build 22,000 seats there. You could for CFL football. You could. So I don't know. There's a stall on it right now because he just made a comment recently on the Facebook page. Derek Martin, I meant to say. I'm getting Stephen mixed up, Johnson, with Derek Martin. He's the CEO for the Halifax Wanderers CPL team. He said that they're now pitching for 10,000 seat rather than 85 because they now went from 65 to 75. They put more bleachers in, makeshift stadium bleachers, and they're saying that they want 10 now or whatever Halifax is looking at. So they are actually right now, Halifax, they have a group that are architects and that are actually looking at what they can do there, what they actually could put in there for a stadium. So we don't know what's going on there exactly, and they're holding out, and it might be because they want that to be a field that would be sizable for CFL 3-down football with the 20-yard end zones. They certainly have the width. They're about 20 yards short in the length. That's nothing. And so the lawn bowling could be removed. They could have newer facilities, more space, and move it. And those hydroponic move those too. And they could actually put dressing rooms in there, everything for you know, with the stadium. But build a permanent stadium, you know. Don't build a makeshift modular thing. Anyway, so you don't know what's happening, where the city's growing. I mean, we have our issues, that's for sure. We don't know what's happening. And now here comes in the role of the CFL new commissioner, Mr. Johnson. Now, apparently Randy Brosing, what he was lying, so what I want to tell you about this, and I know a couple things, unless he was lying, but I don't think he was, but he's a major bullshitter, and he bullshitted a lot. But he said that, you know, potential owner, and I know who is, by the way, and I confirmed that twice now, and that is the Steel Group. The owner of the Steel Group, like, and he's got other businesses. He owned radio stations, sold them, made a lot of money, and he's the guy and the owner that of all these businesses, and he's rich, very rich. He's the guy that's heading a team that wants a CFL team in Halifax. Okay, he has a team that's, you know, a group, and they were at the Grey Cups, the last two, and it was very private. And I believe Randy Brosey met with him when he was here, but Randy Brosey didn't meet with the mayor. Randy Brosey didn't meet with, I know for a fact, didn't meet with the premier. So Randy Brosey is, and he was apparently this group, this Steel Group, okay, owner was at the Touchdown Atlantic at St. Mary's game, okay, in 2023. So there are things happening. So what Johnson has to be, you know, like filled in by Ambrosi on this in detail, because there is a file, okay, and he has to, and I'm going to be also sending him an email on that. He has to be going to Halifax, like, within the first few months, and meeting with Premier Houston, who's a conservative. He's a good guy, and he went to St. Mary's, and meeting with St. Mary's, and meeting with Halifax City Council and the Wanderers because they own the Wanderers grounds. I mean, not the Wanderers soccer team, but the mayor and the councillors, and see where they can build a CFL stadium and get the new owner, the Steel Group involved, and see if they can get this done. That's what they have to do, because they really desperately need 10 teams. And I really think Halifax, where they're stalling on what, they're not that anxious to build that 8,500. I mean, the Metro Center is 11,000, 40 years old, 11,000 seats. So they're not anxious to do that for Derek Martin so quickly. And it's only 40 million. So you don't know what's happening behind the scenes on this, but it could be because, what I believe it is because they're trying to figure out, is this what we really need? We need a bigger stadium than that, at least 22,000. And something that could be expandable to 30,000 to hold a Grey Cup game. I'm sure they're thinking out of the box. If they're not, they're idiots. They're idiots. They're lunatics. You know, I mean, come on. I mean, the city's growing. It's 560,000 people in Halifax now. And we need a stadium, okay? And the problem is the Forum. They want to spend $100 million on the old Forum to renovate. That's way too much money. So unless, I think Premier Houston, though, because he held out in the art gallery, $75 million. I think he's approachable in this, okay? But you need a commissioner that's going to really sell it. Come down, and this guy should know more than Ambrosi. He's more of a businessman than Ambrosi. He's better. He knows the numbers. He knows what they're doing with the NFL reviews. He knows what they can do with the CFL, with the market here, with numbers, and he knows that it could be viable here, because the CFL is in a better place ownership-wise. It really is than it was. Now they need a commissioner that's going to really be a good businessman and do what's necessary, all the needed necessary changes that needed to be made, and I went over last video. They have to do. They have to put in place. He has to do it, and he has to get the owners behind him. And if it means taking down the Canadian players, that's what it is. The Canadian players have a majority of the vote, and they're social. The union, take them down. Take them down. Lock them out. Right? Have all American players play. Take them to court if they want to go to court. Imagine, it's never stand up in court. They're all going down the NFL. You can't, there's no restrictions put on them, okay? They don't honor the Canadian ratio. We could have 36 to 40 top Canadian players now playing in the CFL. By the way, that's still not near enough. It's like, you know, come on. Like, it's a whole team that's down the NFL. Top Canadian players. Like, it's crazy. No. And more. So anyway, okay, it's 23 minutes. We get 4 minutes left. This went fast, but I talked right back at you, and we got, oh God, we got those color stupid things again. I'm sorry, because I don't want you, I didn't even look at it. You know, I don't want to look at that. That's ridiculous, right? Like, let me put my hands up. Spider's back! Okay, I don't want to do this. And you know what? It knocks me off too. It's not the greatest, you know. It knocks me right off too. When I'm already cast on, it knocks me out of cast, and it shouldn't do that. That's ridiculous. It shouldn't do. Red zone rule. I don't want to distract you, sorry. I don't know if it's the greatest invention here, you know, that I try to come up with. I just try to be a little more innovative, right? And it's still new. It's not really old technology. It's still, people are still Chromecasting, okay? Because even with smart TV, I mean, a lot of the software doesn't work, and you had a Chromecast, okay? If you want, if it's on Chromecast, you get to set up on YouTube, the cast on your big TV. I do it all the time. But anyway, 24 minutes and 29 seconds, we're almost at 27:18. So I just want to finish up by saying, like, there's a big plan coming for my Spider CFL Red Zone Rule Blitz, you know? I think Calgary's doing a great thing. And I'll tell you one other thing the commissioner should do, I didn't say last time, is he needs to, you know, the hockey day, Canada, hockey, it's called Hockey Day of Canada or something, I don't know what they call it. They have hockey all day. They need a CFL 3-down football day of Canada. Do the same thing. and have all CFL games, okay? Do it on the Thanksgiving, I mean not Thanksgiving, but Canada Day weekend. That would be a perfect time to do it. But you could have 2 promotions. Do it Canada Day weekend, get back to all CFL games in Canada Day weekend, okay? Or on Canada Day. It's not always Canada Day weekend because it falls any day during the week. And then for Thanksgiving too, have really promote that. That seems to fall on along with, but I don't, yeah, that's normally along way, I believe. It's not like the United States is on a Thursday, but do use Thanksgiving weekend to promote CFL games. Make a big deal out of it. And same with like CFL 3-down game football, day of Canada. Do the whole thing. Okay, pick a weekend and do it. So you can have all these promotions, and that's why I think Calgary, the Stampede Bowl, you know, what they're doing is a great thing. And the Mayor's, you know, betting on the game at $25,000 to whoever wins the bet to Purelator. That's a real good deal. I think, I mean, that's a great thing to be doing. And promotion. And that's what my CFL Red Zone Rule is all about. Can you imagine? It's, I mean, the promotion of my CFL Red Zone Rule, the branding, okay, what it can do. I mean, it's just unbelievable. The super selling features and compelling advantages of adopting my CFL Red Zone, not only from the entertainment value side, but from the business side as well. And you imagine all the CFL, my CFL Red Zone Rule merchandise and sponsor tagged on the field, okay, and CFL Red Zone Rule, Spider CFL Red Zone Rule logos, and people have told me keep spiders because that's great with the younger generation. Don't take spiders away. Use spiders CFL Red Zone Rule, and I believe that it's true. With a Martini White, I think that's what should happen. But don't say it's a Martini White. But I think it would bring in a lot of younger generation, and what a video game it would make with my Spider CFL Red Zone Rule. Anyway, take care. See you next time. Spider, here comes Spider CFL Red Zone Rule. Okay, we're going to do it. We're going to make my Spider CFL Red Zone Rule part of our CFL 3-down game of football.